Good day, all. Truly honored to be here with you. And as we start this thing, this here is a dollar. This is a dollar. This is a dollar. It's a dollar.
You holding out, somebody take it back.
That is a dollar. That is a dollar. That is a dollar. This here is a five. This 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 is a five. We working. We working. We working. Listen, 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 listen. We're inherently wired to recognize value. Inherently wired to recognize value. What was it that made you go after that dollar? What was it that made you go after that five? Something inside of you said, that's mine for the taking. It was there. It was hanging out there. No one's name was on it. I didn't ask you to come and get it. It was hanging there in limbo for you. That's kind of like purpose. Purpose, as a noun, it's the reason for which something is done or created, in which something exists. As a verb, it's one's intention or objective. When we think about purpose, we all have access to it. Purpose is something that the divine created when the divine made you. And as we work through this moment, as we think about our own purpose, our own life's journey, there are so many different layers to it. For the time which is ours to share, the preacher in me wants to first acknowledge other faith practices. And for that reason, I will pin Jesus with purpose. So follow me. Immediately, purpose made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side. While he dismissed the crowd, after he dismissed them, he went up into the mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night, he was there all alone, and the boat was already a considerable distance away from the land, buffeted by the waves because the wind had been against it. Shortly before dawn, purpose went out toward them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But purpose immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I, do not be afraid." "Purpose, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come and walk on water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat. He walked on the water. He came toward Purpose. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. He cried out, "Purpose, save me." Immediately Purpose reached out his hand and caught him. "O ye of little faith, why did you doubt?" Sometimes the things that are most meaningful to us in life are not always the loudest. Sometimes it's a journey in which we have to find that purpose. When we see Peter here in this instance, we see his fear louder than anything else. And as he's in this moment and purpose is coming toward him, he says, if this be you, call me closer to you, call me unto yourself. For so many times, we in this country, we as a city of Boston, we've been pinned with how we were known in the past versus who we are in the present and even the potential that we have. That's not just Boston's story, that's our story. That's many of us even here in this room. And I think the thing that's interesting and why I'm sharing this is because I resonate with this story. This story resonates with me. So when I think of Peter and I think of the faith that he had to have to go after purpose, there was something inside of him calling him to greater. I challenge you this day to understand, regardless of where you are in your station of life, regardless of where you are, whatever you're thinking about, there's something inside of you that's calling you to greater. When we think of the adversity, for some of you, you decided not to go after that dollar because it was going to be an inconvenience. That five, it may not be worth it to stay late, to send the email now, to reach out to somebody else, to look embarrassed in front of others. Like, why would I do that? Why would I step out of my comfort zone? the thing that was so interesting is that when Peter made this request, when Peter had the courage to make this request, and purpose called out to him, and purpose said, come, purpose did not say Peter. Purpose threw that idea out to anyone who was willing to respond. It was not only about Peter in that moment, it was about anyone who had the willingness to respond. Are you courageous enough to respond to your purpose? Are you courageous enough to respond to your purpose? Adversity, as a noun, it's tied to difficulties and or misfortunes. For so many, you are placed in different stations in your life, whether English is your second language, whether your socioeconomic status was tough, whether you were exposed to extreme trauma. There are different things as to why you are not progressing, whatever that looks like in your head. There's always going to be adversity. Adversity is not something new. It did not say that Peter began to sink because the wind began to blow. It said in the text that when he saw the wind, when he noticed the things that were around him, when he took his eyes off purpose, it was at that point that he began to sink. We've always fought adversity. Even in this city, we've always fought adversity. But when did that change? Because Boston used to be a beacon of hope. Boston used to be a place that people would run to for refuge. I am a descendant of family members who migrated to Boston from rural North Carolina and rural Alabama because they saw opportunity in a city up north where we had an opportunity to thrive. It wasn't always like this, but even when we think of how we fought in the relationship between Boston and others, you think the first person to die on behalf of the American Revolution was a black man in Boston named Crispus Attucks. Purpose has always been with us. Purpose has always been with us. The first people to fight on behalf of this nation, many of whom were from Boston, those who were free, those who advanced this nation and fought to make sure that those who were enslaved had freedom. They were in Boston too. It's always been with us. Shout out to the 54th. There's always been a tie there. Even when you think of Martha's Vineyard, one of the first places in this nation where blacks could own property, and that property was then passed down generation to generation to generation. It was off the coast of Boston that thing was birthed. Even though there's always been adversity, there's always been a beacon of light in this nation coming from this place. When did that change? We got to get back to that. We got to get back to understanding and remembering how we are tied to that, how we are tied to purpose. And it's funny how purpose shows up in the middle of chaos. Purpose doesn't wait until the winds are calm. It doesn't wait until the setting is right. If you wait for the wind to slow down, you'll never sail. If you wait for the perfect conditions, it will not happen. You have to have faith over fear. But it's in that time of desperation that things happen. A noun, a state of despair, typically one that results in a rash or extreme behavior. It's in that moment of desperation that purpose moves. It's in that moment of desperation that purpose calls, that purpose extends its hand to us. Now I have something. I know people have been waiting for this one. The first time I extended $1, the second time I extended $5. Say it one more time.
I trust you.
She said, I trust you. What did I extend? Don't be more excited about the gift than the giver. I extend to you the same hand that purpose extended to Peter. We need each other. In this life, in this community, we need each other. Peter saw that when he was falling, purpose was close. Understand, purpose is always close enough to catch you. If you find yourself in a place of despair, if you find yourself in a place of discomfort, if you find yourself reaching out for what's next, understand that your purpose should be the thing anchoring you and bringing you closer. I truly think that we are in a state of identity crisis right now. We find ourselves fighting one another. This pain point that we have right now in our nation in this time, it begs the question, who are we speaking of when we think we the people? We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Who is this we that we speak of? Who are we, the people? We is you. We is me. There is no one illegal on stolen land. So as Boston, this beacon of hope, this beacon of light, the first to be able to celebrate the 250th anniversary, I challenge us all to be reminded of the gift that we have within us, the purpose that we have tied to us, and regardless of how small you think your gift is or whatever it is that you have to call out and promote, just understand the significance, because I just changed somebody's life with $6. Imagine what we can do together. Thank y'all.